was an intense.
It was just before I moved to New York. I think I moved.
Show of a festival.
Yes, I was there.
For you?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, man. I have read every article about that. I know that in and out in terms of
I was
I've never
actually
experienced it. Cars burning and.
Yeah, I was there.
Wow.
So, and I'd come from Canada, and I'd come down there with my boyfriend in a car, and I lost him immediately with no cell. This is back before cell phones,
obviously,
right? So I lost him immediately. I'm just like a young girl, like I had nothing. I had no water. I think I might have had a little bit of money, but hardly anything.
God.
And so I
It's a crazy festival to have any of those things happen in.
Yeah, and so I didn't have, for 3 days, we never found each other again. And in fact, he waited after the festival was over, he couldn't find me, and he left. Because he had to go back to work. So he left and left me there.
Jesus.
Yeah. Wow, I forgot about this completely.
Don't worry, I mean, it worked
But
out.
here's what I want to tell you. Here's what I want to tell you. Somehow I got a tent that wasn't mine. People were abandoning tents or couldn't find their way back to tents. It was so, like, because nobody, it was such chaos, and there was so many people, like, they broke all the walls down, and it was such chaos that there was just tents everywhere that nobody knew who they were or what was going on. So, and I was there long after people left, because like I said, my ride left, and there were literally hundreds of tents there, and they brought out bulldozers and bulldozed them up and put them into dump trucks and took them away. They took the whole top layer of the earth and all the garbage. There's garbage. I mean, you were walking on a sea of garbage at the end of it. So anyway, I was laying in a tent, not mine, because I had to lay down a long time to be. So I was laying in a tent, I remember, and I was just laying there, I was crying, I was just like scared, alone, crying, and I heard this music playing, and I was like, what is that? And it was electronic music, and I'd never been exposed to electronic music coming from Canada, from a small town.
1999 Woodstock. Who was the electronic artist?
I believe it was Fatboy Slim.
Fatboy Slim.
Yeah.
Wow, that was your first introduction to.
Yes. Anyways, I was laying in my tent, and not my tent, a tent. Once again, the figurative tent for a few hours. I was laying down in somebody's tent, just trying to rest and trying to feel protected, because I felt so vulnerable. So I was trying to feel enclosed and protected, but you can't feel enclosed and protected when the tent that you're in isn't yours. And what I had done is watch that tent for a while to see that nobody was coming or going. It seemed abandoned to me, and if I remember correctly, there was nothing inside of it. So I think whoever's it was, it just split. So I just laid down in the tent, and I was laying in there, and I was freezing cold, and because it was nighttime, it was the middle of the night, freezing cold, I had nothing, and I heard this music, and I was just like, you can do this for yourself right now. Get up, go and dance. And I got up and I went over there, and I remember the DJ booth was way up in the air, and I was in the audience, and everybody was celebrating and dancing and loving, and it was so beautiful. And the energy, because I've been paying attention to the bands, and the energy at the bands was super, if you studied it, what was going on with those bands. So, and I don't know why, it's, I don't want to put any fault on them, it's just what happened. But here with this electronic music, they were celebrating and they were dancing and they were loving and they were happy. And I just got swept in. And then that's kind of how it began.